Hello. Today we're going to go over how to propose content from a research paper to the 1Cademy platform. Research papers are obviously structured differently than a textbook, so we want to make sure we know how to summarize information from a research paper and apply it when proposing notes on 1Cademy. The general process for proposing new information to the platform is make sure you find the appropriate area of the map, propose a reference node for your source, find the immediate prerequisite for the new content you'd like to add, and then propose your notes. But here are some considerations for research papers in particular. Make sure that you are summarizing the paper's findings as discrete concepts and relations. You don't want to have multiple concepts all in the same node. And you also don't need to propose a node for every section of the research paper. You don't need to have a methods node or a analysis node or things like that. Just include nodes based on the concepts rather than the structure of the paper. That means you don't need to summarize the entire paper when you're adding new content from it on the platform. Focus mostly on the findings. What is their discussion? What have they actually contributed to the body of knowledge for the field that they're studying in? So the paper that I'm using for an example is about teaching, and in particular, a dialogic pedagogy. Pedagogy is an approach to teaching. Dialogic means discussion-based. So I would make sure that I'm working in the education area of the 1Cademy platform. Once you've found the particular topics that your paper is focused on, you can use the search tool, or you can navigate through the nodes on the platform to find where your content will need to be added. The first thing you'll actually add is a reference node. That way you can use this node when you're citing your later notes. Each broad topic on 1Cademy should have a references parent node, and this is where you'll add the reference node for your paper. Make sure you use APA format when you're adding this new reference node. Once you've done that, your next step is to find the specific nodes that will be the immediate prerequisites for the content you want to add. Make sure that you're not duplicating content that already exists on the map. And if the immediate prerequisite that you need doesn't exist yet, you can always propose it as well. And then your next step is to propose the notes. So here are some considerations for this process. Make sure, of course, that you are paraphrasing or summarizing information. We don't use direct quotes on 1Cademy. You also should be citing the page numbers for the paper when you are adding content in each node. And again, keep in mind the concepts rather than the structure of the paper. What concepts is it contributing to the larger body of knowledge for the field? So the paper that we have in our example, what new concepts is it contributing to the field of education? So this is what it looks like when I've added the new information from that paper. There are no nodes about the methods specifically. There are no nodes about the literature review specifically. All of the information has been summarized conceptually. So let's take a look at the platform. The information in the paper has the immediate prerequisite of discussion in education. This ended up working out. It already existed. I did not need to create a prerequisite for myself. And the paper went over several different features of discussion in education. It discusses some theories of dialogic teaching. And so I've added some nodes after this relation node about dialogism, sociocultural theory of learning, and I found that the third theory it discusses, social constructivism, already exists. So I linked it to my node there. I've also added information on the features of dialogic teaching and obstacles to dialogic teaching that the paper discusses. But note, again, I do not have any specific nodes based on the structure of the paper. They are all only concepts that the paper is proposing or that it is discussing.